minute, I've already started broadcasting, so.
Watch what we say.
What's your name?
Not necessarily. Why is that saying that?
We never made a mistake, never mind.
It's like, yeah.
All right, this is supposed to be midterm week, folks. For you who are here, or you who are listening, and we only have one test grade to go on, and that was the first test. And some folks didn't do too good at all on that first test. So I've got to turn in midterm grades. So there's two possibilities. One, I can turn in what grades I have. We have to report D's and F's. And that would probably be 50% of the class. Because a lot of folks didn't even have books on that first test, they're not attending, and so forth. But I can do that. Or we can do what we can do today on chapter 14. And I could just give you a multiple choice test on Thursday, see if that would pull up anybody's grades. A multiple choice test on chapter 13, 14. Multiple choice, you can have a whole page of notes. So you here that are here, you five can decide. You're the majority today. Take what you got. We'll try to have a test Thursday. What do you say, Jonathan?
It's fine.
Cole?
I gotta think about it.
You what?
I have to think about it, I'm not sure.
Susan?
I'll take what I got.
Monique? And of course, you didn't take that first test. You were going to use it as a drop grade, right? I don't have any grade for you.
There's two options, either have a test Thursday or.
Have a test Thursday, just multiple choice on chapter 13, 14. You go a whole page of notes.
Okay.
Or take the grade you had on the first test. Susan, Monique are definite. I'm gonna
Well,
say.
yeah, let's keep what we got.
Keep what you got, keep what you got, keep what you got. I'm gonna say it's back there, since it's a first test, retest, so it's up to you two. It'd be a tie if you voted for retest. If you vote no, then it's no. So have you had time to think back home?
Let's keep what we got.
Okay, then it's official. We'll keep the grades we have, and if you made at least 65 on that first test, I will not turn in any kind of bad grade for midterm. Now, you know, midterms don't mean anything anyhow.
I've got a question about the test.
Yeah.
So I remember you talking to the people who had taken the test after the rest of us took it. And I remember you saying that you dropped two trick questions. And I remember you saying that to them, but I don't remember you saying that to us.
I don't remember. We not drop anything.
Can you check that for us?
I'll look at it, yeah. But like I say, midterms don't mean anything. Now, this live streaming, there's supposed to be 18 in this class. I know some of them play baseball and basketball and so on. So the whole school of business is going to have to come up with a plan. And I do believe in live streaming. I've had good students from Beckley, good students that's works a couple of hours away from here, or even here in town. They work all day. So that's going to be my suggestion to the dean is we keep live streaming, but you got to bring a letter from your employer to show you're working during that class time. And you got to bring your address or something to prove that you live 2 hours away. But if you live next door here, you should be in class. So it's easy to just lay and sleep if you figure you want your video later. But you put that off and you procrastinate. And procrastination gets you in trouble, don't it? It amounts up. Okay, real briefly on this chapter, we've looked at most of these PowerPoints, and we've looked at a lot of entries. Here we just sold bonds, probably at par, and we debit cash, credit bonds payable. When we pay interest expense, we debit interest expense and credit cash. Then we debit bonds payable and credit cash. So those are your easy beginning entries for bonds. And of course, we know interest can accrue. We know we can sell these at a premium or discount. All right, here's a bond for 100,000, 5 years. Now, when you see these two rates here, 13 and 12. Now, I'm not going to have you to go to those present value tables and calculate that. You're going to get present value tables in finance, intermediate, and you're going to get all the tables, future value of annuity, present value of annuity. You're going to get all those if you're a accounting major. And in any kind of major, you're going to get them in finance. So I will not have you convert and find the present value of that bond. Now, if we're paying 12% interest and the market today on Wall Street, the bonds are paying 13, are you going to sell these for less than 100 or more than 100? Think about it.
More? No.
Less. Why less?
The opposite of the.
Yeah. Why would I buy 12% bonds when I could go out and buy 13% bonds? So I would pay 100,000 for these, but I will not pay 100,000 for 12% bonds. So when the contract rate is less than the market, discount. If the contract rate is more than the market, premium. And here we have to sell this bond at a discount.
And we're always gonna be given that top number during the test and stuff.
This one?
Always, yeah.
Yes, I will not have you to calculate. Now, we could calculate that. I could take 20 minutes of class time
That's all right.
and show you how to calculate that, but we need the more important things that you will have on tickets. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you this, or I'll give you like 96. 96. Now, what if I were selling those $100,000 worth of bonds at 96? Then multiply by 96% and get 96,000. Okay. All right. Now, what can we do with this discount? Now, a discount increases your interest expense. Now, straight line. Now, go back and look at this bond. It's in your book too, I guess. 5 years is how many periods? How many periods are there in 5 years?
10.
Why 10? Because semi-annual. All right. If you're paying 12%, that's 6% semi-annual. 10 years. Now, divide that 3594 by 10. Divide that 3594 by 10. You should have had homework problems.
$359.40.
All right, $359 rounded, okay? We'd amortize that discount every interest period.
By 10.
They've already changed on us, haven't they?
Yeah.
I thought they would go on and amortize. They didn't.
But you do that by dividing that 350
Right.
by 10.
And here, these are 5-year bonds. It'd still be 10%. 10 years, 10 into 6,358 would be
$635. No, yeah.
would be 600 or 6,000. 6,000,
I don't know.
6,358, yeah. All right. This is the number that Susan was giving us a minute ago, $359.40. They didn't round, but I think they should. But now here's what I want you to see that they're doing with that $359.40. All right. You credit your cash, the discount increases interest expense. Add the two together and you'll get interest expense. Now, that straight line method, pretty easy, isn't it?
Are we learning another method?
Yes. The effective interest method.
Just one method, it's fine.
All right, here's some bonds. Now look at this one. The market rate is 11% and we're paying 12. Is that a premium or discount? That'd be a premium. All right, and the premium is $3,769. Now, if we divide that by 10, that'd be $376.90 if we amortize it. Straight line method. Here's another example. Now, looking at the entry on that, go to numbers, not X's. Cash premium reduces your interest expense. What you're doing, you're bringing your real interest expense up or down to meet the market while you sell at a premium or discount. Here, we're bringing our real interest expense down when we have a premium, up when we have a discount. Corporation may redeem a call bond before they mature. You gotta get rid of your bonds, payable. You gotta get rid of any premium or discount left on them. Premium, good debit when you call them in, discount your credit. Credit cash, and you have a gain or a loss. A gain is always credit, a loss is always debit. Loss is like expense, a gain is like revenue. And here we had a loss on redemption. Now we got to the installment note, and that is an important item in this chapter. We just debit cash and we credit notes payable. Now, going to the table. Now you'll have the installment notes payable in the next test. You want to have in your notes, you might want to have the headings for these tables in your notes, okay? Now, we borrowed $24,000. We're going to pay $5,698. Well, our interest on $24,000 was $1,440. So out of that payment, we're paying $42.58 on the principal. Now, we subtract B minus C, and we're going to decrease the notes payable. We take A minus D, and that's how much we still owe. So the payoff at the end of the first year would be $19,742. That'd be the payoff. The payoff at the end of the third year would be $10,445. It's like a payoff on your car. It's an installment note. But you got monthly payments now, not annual payments. But these tables can work for monthly payments too. If you ever mortgage a house, they'll give you a printout showing you how much interest every month and how much principal. Okay. All right, so we need to practice this. The first payment is interest expense, notes payable in cash. The balance sheet just shows you where the long-term liabilities go, bonds and notes payable. And you got another little formula there. I told you to call this EBIT. EBIT, that's, earnings before interest and taxes over interest. The price investors are willing to pay depends on the face amount of the bond, the due date, maturity date, the interest paid on the bonds, and the market rate of interest. Now, present value, we talked about it. We looked at the tables a little bit. There is a future value. Present value of 1,100 we receive 1 year from now is just 1,000. Future value of 1,000 received 1 year from now is 1,100. Present and future value are reciprocals. I can take one table and work out both problems, or I could give you formulas for present and future value. Or does anybody have a business calculator? Well, you have scientific.
Calculator that works.
Yes, sir. It'll do all your square roots and the sums of, and to the power, that is a scientific calculator.
This one too. Oh, so
Bring a spare.
I just have to, because I can't figure out the million marks. All about we have to do percentages, I'm good.
This one, still scientific, but it's, looks like it has less functions than this one.
That's what he said.
These things, when I was in high school, would have cost $199.
That small?
That cost $199. Okay. And prices really went down. Okay, now, if it were a business calculator, it would have present value. It'd have some P's and FV, future value. And you'd have PV and FV and all that. You hit a couple keys and find the future or present value. Okay. All right, and you know, because of future value, any of you in here could be a millionaire. Now, IRS lets you put in about $5,000 a year in an IRA if you're self-employed or if you don't have a retirement plan. And anyway, by keeping that in there, you start working at 20, you could be a millionaire when you were 60. Start working at 24, be a millionaire when you're 64 or retirement. Plus Social Security if it's still here. When Jonathan starts drawing Social Security. But anyway, I would say some of these folks up here that's been the retirement, they put in 6% a year. The college matches 6%, that's 12% of their salary. Now, if they were making, let's say 50,000 a year, what's 12% of 50,000? Up to 6,000. All right, now, for those folks who worked here, now their salary would be higher, promotions, what have you. But just at 50, if you put in 6,000 a year and you worked here 30 years, what's 6,000 times 30? 180,000?
Right.
All right, now that's what you put into the stock market over 30 years, but it would probably have grown to $1 million or more. And some folks have retired from here with over $1 million in their retirement account. So even though the pay at Bluefield State is about as low as any college I know of, okay? All right, so present future value, it's a very interesting concept. Present value of $1,000, let's see, interest rate of 10%. Today, it's worth $826.45. At the end of 1 year, it's worth more, but at the end of 2 years, it's worth 1,000. So look at these present value tables. Again, I'm not gonna have you to use them on a test. I'm not gonna have you to find the present value. But the present value is always less than one. Now, if somebody promised you $100,000 10 years from now, and you could earn 10% on your money, that $100,000 is only worth, it's only worth 38,554. You multiply this by 100,000. Okay. Present value. We all see prices go up and down, don't we? Change. And I told you back when I first started driving, gasoline was 33 1/3 cents a gallon. You really could get 3 gallons for $1. Okay. And movie tickets were a quarter.
What was your paycheck? How much did you get paid?
Minimum wage. Probably minimum wage was $2. So minimum wage now in West Virginia is what, $8.25? Okay. Yeah, all those things changed
Has it
too.
kept up with the gas prices and stuff though? I mean, I don't
If you
know.
do a consumer price index, all right, when I first started teaching, first contract I signed for 9 months was for $5,500 a year. Okay, my apartment rent was $100. It's a brand new apartment bill was $100. So now that same apartment would rent for at least $500. That's 5 times. But that 5,000 times 5 would only been 25, 26,000. I think wages went up faster than prices. I know mine did. Okay. Okay, now, anytime there's a series of payments, like it's an annuity. If you draw Social Security, it's an annuity. If you take a monthly check out of retirement, it's an annuity. If you won the lottery, so we take these present value tables and figure out what the lottery, if you won $1 million and took a cash settlement, how much do you get? If it's in payments of $10,000 a year for 10 years, we can calculate that. Present value of $100, interest payments to be received each year for 2 years, discounted at 10%. Present value of that $100 today is $90.91. At the end of 1 year, it's only worth $82.64. Now, these tables are more than one. You see a whole number in front of the decimal because it's payments. So if you're receiving $10,000 a year, $10,000 a year, and the interest rate was 7%, you're receiving $10,000 a year for 10 years. You go to 7%, take 7.02358 and multiply by one payment, which is 10,000. So multiply 10,000 times decimal 7.02358. What do you get?
What do you multiply?
10,000. Multiply this number by 10,000.
Exactly that. 7.02.
Yes, multiply that by 10,000. What'd you get?
70,235.
All right, she got her decimal in the right place. 70,235. Now you're receiving 10,000 a year for how many years? 10. Well, if you just multiply 10,000 times 10, how much is that? How much is 10,000 times 10? 100,000. But Maya calculated to be, it's only worth 70,000 a day. Someone wanted to pay you a day and settle up, you could settle up for 70,000. 70,000, I guess $235.80. All right. So these tables are interesting. You use them in daily life, or businesses use them against you, whether it's investments, whether it's insurance payments to you if you got hurt in an accident. So that's another thing. Let's say you had a car wreck and got hurt, and insurance company offers you $100,000 today to settle. 100,000 today to settle. But he will give you 10,000 a year for 12 years. That'd be 120,000. You got to use preservative tables to know how to make that decision. Okay. Now this is Appendix 1. Like I say, I will give you that part. Right, face amount, 12%, semi-annual, 5 years. Assuming that the market rate of interest is 12%. What's the contract rate of interest? And if the market rate of interest 12%, you'll sell these bonds at 100,000. Now to prove that from the tables, you would take present value of the face amount, 5 years, 12% compounded semi-annual. Now, how do you find that in the tables? You'd go to 6% for 10 years in the tables. Because the tables don't take into account semi-annual. You have to work it out beforehand. Because it's semi-annual, multiply the time by 2, divide the rate by 2. All right? Let me run back to those tables, the present value table. And remember this, Cole, write that decimal down for me. Decimal 55839. 5 years, 12%. I'm going to go to 10 years, 6%. That income? All right, you can see now, Susan, why I went 10 years, 6%. Okay. Now, on the other hand, we've got 12%. That's $6,000 semi-annual. And we got to go to 6% for 10 periods on the annuity table. So how much is that interest worth that we're going to get 10 times? It's not worth 60,000. 10 times 6 is 60,000. It's worth only 44. Add the two together, you got present value. Now, if this rate differs from this rate, you'll either have a discount or a premium. This will be more than 100 or less than 100. That's the one I told you we would not have to do on tables. All right, so I'm going to quit the PowerPoint for the time being. And we had some problems for the day. What were they?
6, 7, 8, and 11.
Okay, what now?
5, 6, 7, 8, and 11.
All right, hold on to those a minute. I got to go get a little jump drive for solutions. These won't come up. Supposedly this thing keeps on live streaming, I hope. What have you, but anyhow, let's look at these few exercises. And it would have been rushed to have had a test. We've got to go over these exercises, then that'd have been it. I think you ought to try to work some problems. It's a hard chapter. Now, after chapter 15, the chapters will get easier. Okay? But I think these two chapters are your toughest. So what I'm going to do from today till we have the test, I'm going to give you a 1-point curve on the test for every day you're present. Make sense? So we have the test, we'll probably have it next Thursday. It's starting today. So you can get a point today, you can get a point. Well, I'll make that 2 points since it's such a short time to the test. You get 2 points today, 2 Thursday, and 2 Tuesday before we have a test. That'd be 6 points. Now, we won't be here next week, will we? It'll be the week after that. So I'm going to start doing that for the rest of the semester. 2-point curve on the next test grade every day you're here. Here in this classroom. I won't even take a text that you're present. And this morning, I usually get a few texts, people out there in viewing land. I've had 1 text, and this person says they're live streaming. So 1 text, that means 7 out of 18 are present. That means 11 are sleeping. Or somewhere. They could be on the road, basketball, or baseball, who knows. Okay, so let's look at these exercises. Problem 1, I can show you that real quick.
We did that one.
We did that one? But now what
One,
was...
2, and 3.
Okay, now, A part, common stockholders got 40 cents a share. B part, $1. And C part, $2.20. Now up here, we finance with stock. We were paying $300,000 on interest. All right. Trying to zero in here. Shares of stock, earnings available for common shareholders. There's more income available for common shareholders. All right, the bottom line, the less bonds the more bonds you sell, the more per share it can pay common stock. Because bond interest is a deduction and you have less ownership. So here, stockholders own $2.20 or made $2.20 a share.
That's
Okay.
only the net income is high.
Right. Well, net income actually was the same every time.
Right, yeah. But when you start figuring
Yeah.
out and you lower the net income, yeah, well, it's not. Right.
See here, you have a lot of net income before interest and taxes. All right, now you had number 5. Without reading the problem, I know what it's going to say. We sold bonds for $900,000 a part, makes journal entry. All right. How much interest? Excuse me. I can show you that also, probably. 900,000 times 3.5% interest. You can multiply by decimal 3.5, or you can do the 1/2, which is 612. Debit your interest expense and credit cash. Excuse me. All right, now November the 1st, we paid interest. November, December is 2 months. So now we've got to calculate interest for 2 months, and that's the payable. That's what we owe. All right, anybody have any trouble with that, nor anybody have any questions? But now with your attendance bonus for homework, you can gain at least 10 points on any test grade. Number 6. Now they give you this amount, don't they? I'll need to open my books somewhere. Got a text. Another student is live streaming. If you're live streaming today, I'm going to count your present today. If you're live streaming at this time, I've got 2 messages, so I've got 8 present.
That's your point, retroactive.
No, I shouldn't have to bribe you to have attendance. You know, 3 of you up front, the 3 up front, you all have perfect attendance, Susan.
I think I missed one day.
Jonathan, you and Cole have perfect attendance, don't you? Cole, you missed a day. You were home sick. I can visualize your text, okay, or your email.
I think the weather was real bad one day. The school should have been put on a late schedule that day. But the roads were.
I agree with that. Did you miss that day?
That's the day I missed.
Oh, I'm not gonna count that one against you. So, yeah, that was ridiculous.
I'll risk my life. Especially if it was online.
I think administration got a lot of heat over that one. Okay, problem 6, exercise, if you look at page 707. Okay, got another text, so I've got another one present today. Okay, so we're getting up there to 9. Okay, okay, number 6, interest for issuing bonds and amortizing discount by the straight line method. All right. That's $10,000 worth of bonds, 10 million, 7%. I had told you. Did you see this amount, Susan?
Yeah, they gave you that.
But we know we could find it if we had to on the table. We're not going to. We're not going to. Okay. So just subtract and get the discount of 405,585. And then, of course, when you debit interest expense, the discount increases interest expense. Now, on the straight line method, if these are 5-year bonds, you're going to have this same entry 10 times, every time, because the discount's the same every time. Now, that is exercise 6 with a discount. Exercise 7 is a premium.
Oh, discount what? Interest discount or what?
Discount on bonds payable. All right, your annual interest paid is $700,000. Discount amortized makes your interest $781,000 for the year. We were paying, you were paying out $350,000 cash.
Could you
Which
go
is-
back up? Okay.
All right, let's look at the premium. All right. Debit cash, credit premium, credit bonds payable. Debit interest expense, credit premium. Now, we take this premium and divide it by 10 payments. Their interest is 9%. Now, at this point in time, I think you need to practice one of these. Make these 2 entries. All right. Just make the first 2 entries, and we'll do a discount problem. If my pen works here. $1 million, paid 10%. They are semi-annual. And these are 10 years, folks. Don't let that confuse you. Now we're going to sell these bonds for $960,000. All right, this is the cash you're getting, $960,000. Now see if you can make me the first 2 entries on discount and the bonds payable. Straight line method, you should get this. Make that journal entry on plain paper, or if you've got extra journal paper. All right, you should have debit cash for how much? It won't write up there, but you should have debit cash for how much?
$960,000.
And debit discount for? And credit bonds payable for? It's $1 million. All right, half of 10 is 5. What is 5% of 100,000? Is that 50,000? I mean, what is 5% of a million? Is that 50,000? So we're going to pay out. We're going to pay out 50,000.
10 years.
Right. Now we got to amortize this discount. Divide that by what? What did you divide the 40,000 discount by? 20 periods. That's how much a period. 20 into 40 is? All right, so we're going to credit 2,000 here. And we're gonna debit your real interest expense for how much? 41?
7,000.
No, 52.
Oh, come on, now, wait a minute. I thought you were dividing all that up.
I did. Okay. Let's see if we got it. We had the debit cash for 960. We had the debit discount for 40. Is that correct? We have to credit bonds payable for $1 million. All right. Now we're paying 5% semi-annual. 5% of $1 million is how much? 50,000, right? So we got to pay cash of 50,000. Now we got to amortize that 40,000 discount. Susan, you said it was 20 period. If you divide 20 in, you get 2.
But I thought you divided the interest expense by 22.
Oh, no. You just divide the discount by 20. Just divide the discount by 20. That interest same every time, but it will change. No, it won't change. All right. Now, what would be your next entry, assuming you have no adjustments? Same thing. Would this entry right here be the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, really, when this thing is neat, then I can write on a problem, and when I close it out, if I don't save it, all my scribbling goes away. It won't be there when I bring it up the next time. All right, we're going to go to another one. What is this one? A premium, right? All right, we're going to sell $5 million worth of bonds. We're going to sell them for $5,100,000. We're going to make these probably back to 5-year bonds, paying 8% interest. That's all you need. You've got your sale price of $5,100,000. All you are doing is filling the numbers in for these accounts.
What's that second number? 5 million.
5,000,001, yeah.
Okay.
My pen's done pretty good today, but my writing's never any better. Hey, buddy.
You didn't sleep, no, you
Huh?
didn't sleep.
No.
So, figuring out. Are we supposed to cut the 8% of the, okay. You multiply 5 million by 8%, right? And then you divide that by 2 if it's semi-annual. It's not in the problem. You know what you're doing?
You don't.
I think, but I don't even want to tell you that I think I'm.
Well, hey. Yeah, it's just not good.
So what? Because he said, don't cut it in half. First part, never problem.
Okay, folks, we should have had this one a year ago. Okay. How much cash did we get?
5,100,000.
All right, how much premium did we have? And bonds payable, how much?
No, 5 million, sorry.
All right. Interest expense, 4% of 5 million is how much? How much cash we're paying out every 6 months? Come on, Cole, what is 4% of 5 million?
I was 8%.
What?
I was 8%. I was 4%.
Oh, mercy. Monique, did you use 4%? Great. Jonathan, did you use 4 or 8?
Why would you use 4?
Megan, did you use 4 or 8?
What you call me? Maya?
Maya,
Thank you.
what'd you use, 4 or 8%?
4.
Well, now, wait, Maya, you and Monique, one of you tell these 3 up front why you use 4%. Maya, why'd you use 4%? It's half a year. I always
You
said,
can also do, don't say there's just one way to go about that, though. You can do 8% divided by 2, correct?
yeah.
That's what I did.
Now you can multiply by 8% and then multiply by or divide by 2. When you multiply by 6/12 or 1/2, you're dividing by 2. Yeah, that's okay. But you're going to get the same answer. What do you get here? How much?
200,000, I think.
Well, that is 5 million. That is 4%. Is it 200,000 or 20?
I don't know.
Somebody help me with those decimals. Take 5 million times decimal 0.04. Is it 20,000 or 200,000? I think it would be 200, Susan.
Yeah.
All right, now divide that discount of 100,000 by how many periods? Exactly. And 100,000 divided by 10 is how much? So what do we have to debit interest expense for?
$210,000.
All right, we've done a discount and a premium. Cole, you had that, didn't you? 100 what? Oh, Cole, you're right.
What?
Cole is right. Hold on, we're doing a premium, not a discount.
Good one.
Cole, why'd you speak up? All right. So this is 190,000 because we subtract a premium, we add a discount. Now, does that match yours, Cole? All right. Speak up. I make mistakes too. That was mine for the year. Only make one a year. All right. Any questions? All right, folks. You can make those entries. We've got half the chapter conquered. Now, if we can make these same entries by using the effective interest method, then we've got the chapter conquered. Okay. And of course, do installments. So that's 5 and 6. And that was 7. So let's see what 8 brings us. All right, now look at 8. Here's a redeeming a bond. We need to know how to redeem them. We pay them all. Just flat out, here we debit cash and credit bonds payable. We do our interest expense. Now here it don't look like we had a discount or a premium. We didn't have to amortize any. Now we're going to pay off these 22 million. We're going to pay how much for to get them back? 22,440. So our loss was 440. Now, why would a company do that? Why would they get 22 million and give 22,440 to get them back? They would do that because if the market rate of interest went up or down, they'd be been paying 8%. Market rate of interest went down to 5. So they'll call these in and issue new ones at 5% instead of 8%.
How did they come up with that number?
All right, I got to read the problem to tell you that, and let's see. Look at page 707. 22,000 is flat out given. 20 years, 7% bonds. Issued the bonds for cash. We paid the interest. Now we called the bonds in at 102. Susan, what have I told you about that 102? It's 100 what? What's 102? We did these last week. What is 102?
It would be the time they called it in for all I'm talking.
No, okay. What is 102, folks?
Interest rate?
102 is 102%. Okay, Susan, multiply this number here by 102%. 1.02 times 22 million. Put that in your calculators. Jonathan, at 95, what does a $1,000 bond sell for? $950, don't it? Monique, at 105, what does a $1,000 bond sell for? Anybody? 1,050. It's 105%. Now, we went over that last week. Maybe there's a different crew in here. I don't know. I think 4 or 5 of you. Multiply by 1.05, you'll get 1,050. Now, that's what we're doing here. Now, when you multiplied, Susan, here, did you not get what we're selling the bonds for? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. But that's a good point. They didn't give you that 22,440 straight up. You had to calculate it. All right. So we've got another problem here, which is 11. That's on installments. Now this, when we finish installments, we'll have 2/3 of the chapter. Let's look at the interest first, then we'll look at the calculations, okay? We're borrowing $120,000. That's a notes payable. We're going to pay installments. All right? We're going to pay $28,488 a period. Now, what is the interest rate? Jonathan, read that 11. What is the interest rate?
6%.
All right, give me 6% of 120,000. What you got? All right, that's 120,000 times 6%. No problem there, right? Now it has to tell you this figure. Did it tell you 28,488? Let me look at 11 and see. Issued the bond, paid the annual payment on the note, which consists of interest of $7,200 and principal of $21,288, which you can calculate that interest. All right. Now, if you add those two together, you get the cash they paid out. But usually you find the cash they paid out, they tell you the payment, you subtract the interest, and you get the notes payable amount. All right, so this one, you okay with that one? You can do that one, can't you? Down to there. All right, how much did we pay on this notes payable, Monique, right here? All right, that don't show up, but my mouse smiled. Okay, Monique, right there, how much is that? All right, now everybody subtract 21,288. Follow with me. Subtract 21,288 from 120,000. What does that leave you? 90 something? Now multiply that by 6%. Whatever you got, multiply it by 6%. What'd you get? What'd you get?
$5,922.72.
That sounds right. You know why it don't match this one, Susan? Because this is year 4. We just did year 2. That's why. So now we're going to set this up in a table. Let's go to your book. Let me find the table. Has anybody found that table? Tell us what page when you do.
What table are you looking for?
I'm looking for the installment notes table.
Okay, 4 on 689.
All right. There's where I want. That's right, Susan. Okay, go to table 4. 689. All right. Okay, blank sheet of paper. Blank sheet of paper, table 4. Now write those headings across there, please. Column A, B, C, D, E, and then the column before. There are 6 columns. You do need to know how to advertise a note. All right, we're about out of time. I'll explain this better come another day, but right now, what is your carrying amount for this bond? First column, first year, just put down year 1. Yeah, year 1. What is your carrying amount? How much did we borrow? How much did we borrow? How much?
120,000.
Yes. All right. Susan, you're using transposing in your mind, not on paper.
I do that all the time.
All right, put down 120,000. How much is your notes payment?
Wait a minute, where does that go? First column?
Column A,
Year.
120,000. Column B, 21,288. Column C, column C is 7,200. Column D, somebody subtracted that a minute ago to say 21,288. No, 28,480, 28,488. Sorry. Take that from 120. That leaves you 91,000. Take 28,488. Your payment. Oh, wait a minute. Notes payable, I'm sorry, it's 21,000, like I said, 288. Take that and you get 98,000 what?
What are you subtracting from there?
We subtract, all right, we got original notes payable of how much? How much is that? Subtract this notes payable of payment.
From cash, from those payable,
Subtract 21,288 from 120.
98,720.
Put that in column D. Wait a minute. No, what? Put that in column E. That goes in column E.
But we don't know what D is yet. We're supposed to subtract 8.
Yeah, we can find it. Decrease in notes payable.
D minus C is that.
D is 21,288.
No. It says it's B from C. If B is 20, and that's the number you gave us for B.
All right, let's start over.
Subtract 72.
Column A has to be 120,000. Cash paid. Maybe I got you wrong here. It's 28,488. Column B, I got you off there, maybe. Cash paid 28,488.
Yep.
Column C, interest expense 7,200. Now column D, Column D should be 21,288. And column E should be whatever you calculate, 98 what?
Oh, shoot, can you do that again?
All right. Now,
What?
how much, Maya?
98,700.
Okay. Now put that over here for year 2, column A. Put the same amount down in column B that you paid before, which is 28,488. How do we get the interest expense? What was the interest on this problem?
6%.
Was it 6? All right, multiply what you got in column A by 6%. What do you get? You multiply 98,000 something by 6%. What do you get?
$5,922.72.
You see, why is your interest going down, Susan, from 7,200 to 5,000 something?
This is 6% of 98,000.
Right. Okay. Now, I want you to work that down till you do year 4. I want your year 4 figures to match these figures. Do the table. Now, in addition, I want you to do problem 2A, 3A, and 4A for homework.
Round these off to the nearest dollar. Is that all right?
Yeah. All right. Now, I want you to read the Appendix A. We'll look at that effective interest method. Now, here's the deal, folks. We're finishing this chapter up Thursday. We're going to have a week off. I'm going to give you some work to do on these 2 chapters and read another chapter. When you come back on Tuesday, I won't give you a test on your first day back. We'll review a little bit and I'll tell you what will be on the test. And we'll have a test that week. You come back on Thursday. Okay. So that's it. We're finished. You can leave.
Hey, we had a bonus homework you gave us for, supposed to turn it in last class period.
Yeah, if you had a bonus, please turn that in now. I told you we were taking one of your naps.